Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I am your host, GameChanger. So I decided to just do something a little different today, and that is just watch some YouTube with you. No particular subject matter, no intro, even though I did see some interesting subjects this morning. And I decided, if I couldn't group these together into one, which means I'd have to make several videos and add several more minutes out of my life. And I would rather not do it this way. So how about just a general topic, and maybe I'll put out the link and we'll just watch some videos. So the first one is going to be a short video, and this is called A Black Female Jury. And it's an attempt to be funny, but it really hides something sinister about the polarization between black men and black women. And let me just play that for you right quick. Oh, and a lot of interesting stuff about history of welfare is coming up. Like, apparently they did a lot of news reports on it in the 60s and 70s, not just that 1984 documentary. They've been doing documentaries on that for a while, which are long, so not going to do that. Nevertheless, this is what I am going to do. Give me one moment. Hit that like button when y'all come in. All right. Okay, this is the Black Lady Courtroom is back. Let's take a look. I didn't know that it was here to begin with, but yeah.
Begin jury selection. Plaintiff's counsel, we will start with you.
Thank you, Judge Harper. Have any of you previously participated in a Black Lady Jury?
Black Lady Jury.
Black Lady Jury.
Now y'all doing the rock.
Jury. Okay, everybody settle down.
Sorry, I'm late, Your Honor. My client had a shift at Burlington Coat Factory. She doesn't work there. She just steals from 10 to 4. What in the pink oil? What in the Murrays?
Yeah, girl, we can't call it.
Hey, y'all in here doing Fat Joe choreo when we're supposed to be selecting the jurors for case 5668-B.
First, your tone. Second, that's not even the right docket number. I said it is case 5669B.
Yep, that's on me. Let me just leave you ladies to your Black Lady. You right. Excuse me.
He lost his doggone mind. Let's begin.
Okay. Clearly, Black womanhood is defined by hatred of Black men. Like, the only real punchline was their disdain for him being there. Like, that was the only thing that gave this any context or meaning or anything like that. It's what in the she looked at him and said, "What in the Murrays?" Like, okay, that's you were both shocked that the jury was completely full of Black women, and you were also shocked that there was a Black man there. It's like you expected diversity, but you didn't expect diversity. But notice the hostility. I'm going to play it again. And of course, this is,
Begin jury selection.
AI.
Plaintiff's counsel, we will start with you.
Thank you, Judge Harper. Have any of you previously participated in a Black Lady Jury?
Black Lady Jury.
Black Lady Jury.
Now y'all doing the rock.
Okay, everybody settle down.
Sorry, I'm late, Your Honor. My client had a shift at Burlington Coat Factory. She doesn't work there. She just steals from 10 to 4. What in the pink oil? What in the Murrays?
Yeah, girl, we can't call it.
Hey, y'all in here doing Fat Joe choreo when we're supposed to be selecting the jurors for case 5668-B.
First, your tone. Second, that's not even the right docket number. I said it is case 5669B.
Yep, that's on me. Let me just leave you ladies to your black lady. You right. Excuse me.
You want to know what else? Okay, so it actually makes sense that she's like, wasn't a Murray's because he was in the wrong courtroom and stuff. So of course they're gonna make the black man incompetent. But yeah, she kind of walked in announcing that her client was a criminal. But it's okay because it's a black lady jury. Black lady. Oh Christ. This is the world that they want. When they talk about the community, this is the community that they want. They dream of stuff like this. This really isn't comedy. This is fantasy for them. This is corn. This is their corn. Remember when the Native Americans taught the white people how to plant corn? This is their corn. They get off on this stuff. They fantasize about this stuff. While other women are fantasizing about this lawyer, they fantasize about black lady jury and the bailiff. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You don't have time to grab that gun. What are you gonna do? Okay. This is the stuff. I'm not looking this stuff up. I didn't type in black lady jury and then just like, oh, this is something interesting. Why would I do that? This is what comes up on my feed. This is the world we live in, and this is what's out there in the world we live in. All right. Let's take a look at another short. This one I haven't seen yet, but this came up, so let's do this. It's probably the same people that made it. You want to know what's interesting? Black women are so adept at making fun of themselves that we don't know who wrote this. We don't know if this is a white person or a black man making fun of black woman who wrote this, or if a black woman wrote it because they like making complete and total fools of themselves. Nevertheless, let's continue.
And able to assist in case of an emergency?
Oh, y'all.
Sorry, I need a verbal yes.
Bet.
Yes. Babe, just say yes.
No doubt.
Okay. What about you, ma'am? Are you willing and able to assist in the event of an emergency?
What emergency?
A hypothetical one.
Does this even work?
Ma'am, could you please not do that?
Because you over here talking about,
Ma'am, can you not do that?
excuse me.
Sir, are you ready to provide a verbal yes?
You're.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yodel.
Yes.
Ew, she ain't.
Yeah.
Sir? Hi, sir? Hi. Would you like an exit row seat? With lots of leg room.
Yeah, sure.
Come on out.
It's my boo, you know? Yeah.
Do you agree to assist in the event of an emergency?
Oh, yes.
Look at God. You be knowing Jesus. Sir, are you...
Okay. That was just something that's somewhat funny. But nevertheless, why was dude so much more handsome than his chick was pretty? Like, this is how they see standard black relationships. Look at this. Look at that. Like, in other communities, relationships like this don't make any sense. But in our community, it's the standard. This would not make any sense for a slim dude with his hair together being with a woman who looks like she pearls syrup out of her neck. Like, and then what's interesting is that when this other guy, who's also more handsome than she is pretty, comes and sit down, I could swear that she says, "That's my boo." Let me see.
like an exit row seat? Lots of leg room.
Yeah, sure.
Come on out.
It's my boo, you know? Yeah.
So did you just break up with your boyfriend and get with this dude because you find him more handsome, like immediately? Because they switch seats? This is what?
Do you agree to assist in the event of an emergency?
Yes.
Look at God. You be knowing Jesus. Sir, are you?
Okay. Yeah. Keep in mind, I'm watching this fresh with you all. All right. Somebody said that's male model Broderick Hunter. Okay. I thought that this whole thing was AI. But yeah, that's a person. All right. So moving on. Now we're going to get to the beginning, to the meat and potatoes of this. We're going to start with the, main event early. Give y'all a chance to hit that like button. And really, there's no main event because there's no topic. But nevertheless, let's see what Shay Sharday is doing.
That no one is coming to save you. They will all sit and watch you suffer.
This one says the harsh reality of being Black woman.
I think the hard pill, as well as a Black girl, is that no one is coming to save you. Whenever you're put in an uncomfortable position, or someone has disrespected you, or you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, absolutely no one is going to defend you. Maybe if you're lucky, another Black girl, but besides that, they will all sit and watch you suffer. All the performative allyship, all the sisterhood, not even, other Black men, none of those.
I'm gonna stop right there for a second because she said a bunch of stuff. Other Black men? Miss, what do you identify as? Other Black men. You don't hear me say stuff like other Black women because I'm not a Black woman. Why'd you say other Black men? See, notice how when they're making, Black woman jury skits, it's a Black woman thing. But when they're looking for Popeye, come save me, Ray, come save me, it's like, you're another Black man. We're all the same. We're all one. Same color. Those of you who travel to Latin America in particular, and you have people who are constantly trying to sell you stuff, souvenirs and stuff like that. And hey, you got to make a living. I'm not holding fault against them. Some of them even rap for you, and their rap is trash. That's where they're doing it on the street. But one of the things that they say, if they just so happen to be the same color as you, is my brother, we same color. And that's just to get you to, like, because you're the same color, not even the same tribe or ethnicity, but because you're the same color, you should listen to their crap music and pay for it. This is the same logic that she's spewing here. Because we're the same color, we're the same person, you should do stuff for me. So next time, and this is, I like her lips. Next time I see a woman, actually, next time I see her, if I ever see her, I'm going to say, hey, you mind sucking his penis? Same color. Like, see if that logic works in reverse. Hey, you mind scrubbing my toilet? Same color. You mind cleaning my bathtub out? And don't use scrub and bubbles, use Comet. Same color, same color. Like, and lastly, before I continue, who really needs people that much? And she call it protection, but you see like the U-Haul boxes and stuff like this. You see, she's come to that rep. She got that at Walmart because I seen it there when I bought some candles. She got a TV stand there, but nevertheless, you see, you see the U-Haul box here. She recently moved. She recently moved into the place that she's currently living, and that's when she had this epiphany that no one is here to protect me. Now she calls it protection, but really she said no one's here to give me free manual labor. Because I'm thinking, like, even if I was a person who's ill-capable of defending myself, say if I had MS or something like that, or I was crippled, or I just lost my hand like Jamie Lannister, I wouldn't even really think about the levels of protection. I don't think that handicapped men think about their levels of protection in American society, because the country is more or less safe even for people who cannot protect themselves. You know, you have the police and all that good stuff, all that jazz. So there really isn't much of a need for the video, but for whatever reason, these women walk around like, you know, in a chronic state of need for protection, because that's not what they actually want. They don't want protection. They want aggression. They want someone to defend their right to be aggressive. That's what they want. They want somebody to defend their life, or excuse me, defend their right to be aggressive. Never forget. In a place I used to stay, there was a group of YNs. If I had to guess, it was maybe like 8 of them. And they were just standing there minding their own business. And then some dude come up to him. What you say about my mama? I'm paraphrasing because, you know, from Menace Society. But he's like, what you say about my mama? And he was ready to fight one of the dudes. And he had his shirt off, was on some bird chest stuff, and I'm looking like, wow, what if they just jumped you? This is interesting. You know, like you there just solo. I mean, you got heart, but you know, you there solo. And then his fat mama comes driving up, right? And and I'm looking like, did this dude's mama read my mind and then called her son? Because when she drove up, all kind of fat jokes and insults just came in my mind. But it was my first time seeing her. And the mama said, no, it wasn't him. It was him. And I'm thinking, like, what if these young YNs just jumped them? Or what if they just like pulled out that thing on them? And you'll be setting up a GoFundMe, even though this was before GoFundMe, you know. I mean, but you'll be standing on the corner asking for funeral money that you're gonna pocket and cremate your son. Like that's exactly how stuff like that plays out. They want protection so they can feel they want somebody to back their right to be ratchet. That's what they want. Write that down. And hit the like button.
Fake alliances
Fake alliance.
matter when you are on the. I think this is a especially hard pill to swallow because we are always everyone's woman. That's the find a black woman, because we are always.
I
so
have
ready.
never heard anyone say that ever. I've never heard anyone say that ever. Yeah, never. I think that in emergency or otherwise, and just like in general, people hope that when they need something, they don't get a black woman. For example, I got to go to the DMV this month. Well, I don't have to go. I always procrastinate and doing it online and stuff. But my registration is in January, which works out for me because then I got taxed for the whole year, like during the year. Um, but if I had to go to the DMV, if I had to go to the DMV, I would hope that it's not a black woman. And if I had to go to a restaurant to get something to eat, I would hope it's not a black woman. And I never do this, but if I ever did, order up a DoorDash or Uber Eat. I don't know why people, maybe I'm just cheap, but I'll sooner just drive 5 miles than pay $20. But if I did ever have to do any of those things, I will hope that the person who delivers the food on my doorstep is not a black woman. And it's not out of hatred. I mean, like I would hope that it's Shay Sade. Like in any aspect, I would hope that, that because look at it, she makes your day brighter. I'm not talking about like in an overtly like sexual way. I'm talking about, in like a sisterly, pleasant demeanor way. Like, yeah. So, but generally speaking, the world hopes that whoever is going to be there, like if you have to call your cable company, you hope it's a black woman that you hope that's not a black woman that answers. Like, no one is saying, hey, when you need help, call a black woman. Nobody is standing on the side of the road with a flat tire, just, putting a thumb out, hoping a black woman pulls over. No, holy crap. This is how they think of themselves. The way they view themselves, this is something I'm starting to realize about black women. The way that they view themselves is absurdly different than the way that the world views them. In black women's mind, they are all Shay Sade. Even the fat ones. Even this one right here. When they close their eyes, they picture Shay Sade. They picture themselves as intelligent, articulate, sweet and pleasant to be around. They actually think that is how the world sees them. All right.
And so eager and so willing to help. You don't even have to ask us. We will come to your aid every single time. But I think we have
okay. Dang, I wish there was like a black women phone book. So I can call and say, I need you to stop what you're doing so you could come to my aid. Like I need you to, get off that street corner selling box so you can come to my aid. I need you to stop getting your hair did so you could come to my aid. I'm telling you, the way they see themselves is absurdly different. It's absurdly different than the way the world sees them. Now, if you just so happen to be a basic Brad in a rut because a white woman's not going to do you, then you could call a black woman. But outside, and they don't even do that then. But still,
into the ground and get into really bad situations trying to help other people out who would never, ever, ever, ever do
it was boring a bit, but look at the look on Shay Sade face. Like, keep taking up space. What does that mean? What does that mean? Somebody tells me, what the hell does that mean? I'm trying to think of like a good way that could be, because I like her lips. I'm trying to think of like a good way that's put. That means, because now what it sounds like is that every time a Black woman is present, she look at herself as, yes, I'm going to keep taking up space. It's like, well, yeah, it's a party, you know, there's a lot of people here. Yeah, but I'm taking up space. I'm going to keep taking up space. Everything just comes off as a little aggressive. Like, I'm taking something from someone else. No, you were invited here. And now you see why people actually don't look to you for help? Because you're taking up space. What the hell? I'm thinking about that woman in DC, that squatter who got the Airbnb and decided to just squat. She was just taking up space. You should continue to take up space. They say the most ridiculous stuff I've ever heard in my life ever. Black women should keep taking up space.
Girl to another one. I'm sorry.
I want to look at some of the comments from this video. This one right here, it says, sadly true. I had a therapist. I told her I had no one but myself.
Therapy is not real. Let me go back. Therapy is not real as it pertains to Black women. Ever notice how they're all in therapy, but they never get better? Okay, here's why they go to therapy. Therapy is a paid echo chamber / friend. I'm going to repeat. Therapy for Black women is a paid echo chamber / friend. One more time. Therapy is a paid echo chamber / friend. Sadly true, I had a therapist ask me, who is your protector? After a long pause, I told her, oh, this is a female therapist. How much you want to bet that this is a Black female therapist who's in the same soror as all the Sisterhood of Failure? How much you want to bet that that's the case? What kind of question is that to ask? Let's start there. What kind of question is that? First of all, this story is either made up or your therapist is just as screwed up as you are. That doesn't even sound like a real question that humans ask on Earth. That sounds like something like the guardian of the gate or the portal to Asgard would say. It doesn't even sound like regular mortal beings say stuff like that. Imagine like going to Asgard and Idris Elba is standing there with that spear axe thing, and he says, you know, who is your protector? and you say something like, I am protected by Zeus. This is Odin territory. It sounds like some crap like that. What kind of question is that? So, who's your protector? What the hell? That is some made up crap. Or is sisterhood stupidity speak? Let's see what Shay Sade has to say.
True. I had a therapist ask me, who is your protector? After a long pause, I told her I had no one but myself. That particular comment got 321 likes. This one here says, it can be so isolating. Then the competition between us makes it worse. I'm tired. That one had over 2,800 likes. This one over here, it says, the irony is when I stopped giving away my help care, people started valuing me more, and that value made people actually help me without having to ask them. It's like they were responding to me. That one got...
That doesn't make any damn sense whatsoever. When people stop, when I stopped helping people, people started helping me. How often do these bras need help? How often? I remember one time I helped a black woman and a fat one. So for people who think that I'm against fat women to the point where I wouldn't help them on the street. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I had to check this text message. But what was I? Oh, help. Yeah, so I pull over and actually this isn't the last time, but this is the most interesting time. This was a time where I was gonna do a video on exactly how helpless they are. Because it was like maybe like 3 of them. I think one was maybe a minor. But the main person, the leader, as it is with most groups of black women, it was fat. And she was like, I'm out of gas. But I look and it had like a very early model SUV. I don't even know the type. And I look and they weren't just out of gas. Like the gas tank fell out. Like when you open the lid to the gas tank and then you look where you put the nozzle to fill up the tank, that was like put it like this. If you open the gas tank, you can see the ground and the tank of the gas, which is something me not being a mechanic has never seen before. So I'm like, oh crap, that's there's something you don't see every day. It wasn't like the gas tank wasn't even like connected to the place where you fill it up. It was a very weird situation. So and this is something I found out on that day. So I calls AAA. But none of them had AAA. I called AAA and I decided to help. And I say, hey, I need to use the service. I need to use your tow service. And they said, okay, were you in the vehicle when it was being driven? I said, no. And they said, oh, well, we can only help if you're in the vehicle while it's being driven. And I said, okay, well, hold on. I'm going to get in the vehicle. I'm going to have them drive it a bit. And then I'm going to get you to help me. And they're like, no, it doesn't work like that. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, all right. Well, bye. And that was that. There's more to the story, but I don't want to get into it. But basically, that's how it ended. Like, okay, bye. Like, what do you do? Hey, I've done everything I'm gonna do, and that is call AAA. They be out there looking crazy on the side of the road with no AAA and a gas tank. Oh man. But nevertheless, okay. Actually, Shay Sade is about to explain it better.
Over 680 likes. This one right here, yep, especially in the workforce. And then the last one I'll read. I realized this a long time ago. Now I only pour into myself.
Okay.
This would not be the first time that I'd heard about Black women complaining about the fact.
You want to know what I'm not gonna pour into you? It rhymes with semen. Like, I am only going to pour into myself. Oh, okay. Wow, that you're gonna be missed.
I realized this a long time ago. Now I only pour into myself. To save them at the government. And it's interesting. This video was recorded last year around the time. Obviously, know how things turned out, but I do think that's an important context because what these conversations reveal is an ongoing trend, I think, and a broken down dynamic that's been going on 4 days now in Black America. First, I have to compliment or agree are married.
Tell it like it is. Listen. I'm this person. So I hate to talk crap about people who do the stuff that I do, but I do it. I always show up to functions, events, family gatherings, empty-handed. And I mean always. Even this last Christmas, I ate. I didn't bring a dish. Same thing on Thanksgiving. I never contribute to the eatings that's going on. Ever. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is my contribution to the cookout, to Thanksgiving dinner, to Christmas dinner, and stuff like that. My food contribution will not be embraced in comparison to the women in my family. I have some Shay Sade type women in my family. Therefore, like, yeah. So, and I thought about doing it because they have like, what do they call those I seen at the grocery store, like for $15, they had like this frozen Hershey cream pie with the cookie crust and stuff like that. And I was gonna buy that. And I'm thinking like, nah, everybody else they're gonna bring made food and made desserts and stuff like that. And nobody's gonna take this seriously. And it'll just melt and go away. So I don't bring anything. Now, that being the case, they are the me of the community. They bring nothing to the community, but yet they take out of it. And it's just one of me, and maybe a few of my cousins and stuff, but it's just one of me. There's enough people who bring food to the cookout to compensate for those like myself who don't. There's enough of us. Or excuse me, there's enough of them. Right now in the Black community, there are way too many non-contributing women and way too many women who are at the potluck eating. There are more eaters than there are cooks. Way more. So you freeload, GC. Yeah. Yes, I do. That being said, none of the women in my family will ever be like in an apartment with a U-Haul box talking about, there's nobody here to protect me. Nobody in my family who contributes to the cookout has been in that situation for as long as I've been an adult that's capable of lifting a box full of a U-Haul box full of stuff. Let's make that clear. I have done stuff. I have, as a young man, literally stepped in garbage cans to compact it down after a after a family event, and it fills up the garbage can. I have loaded chairs. Actually, now I think about it, I've done a lot of stuff. Help set up DJ tables, help set up projectors, help set up banners, help set up the what do you call those things? The paper mache decorations. And that took a long time because the fish wire was I do a lot. Shut up. No, I do a lot. It's just a lot that I do is not food related. Because that's not my wheelhouse. Everybody needs to play their part. And their part is creating a family and keeping that family together. They have failed in that part.
Why is that important? Why would I bring that up? Hear me out. What she's talking about is a cohesive community. What she's talking about.
You see that? Shay Sade just said what I said without telling a story and she used bigger words. But yeah, what she's talking about is a cohesive community, and you're supposed to be the glue. And if you are not the glue, then there is no community. So, all right, let's let her say it with the big words.
Advocating for what happens under nationalism, a system where you are protected as a woman. People advocate for you. Nationalism without really calling it that. The problem is to get all benefits that you talk, you have to come from community, and a community is made up of families, and families are made up, if you want the family to you're made of man and a woman who have kids. The challenge I have with these conversations is that we go all the way to the finish line. You go all the way, we strip all the way to Z, but we don't even start at point A. Because as far as I'm concerned, the first protection that you are usually going to have, it's going to be in your immediate family. It should be with their father. Unfortunately, a lot of women don't have that opportunity. They didn't grow up in homes where they saw a man and a woman working together cohesively. Unfortunately, that's not the case for a lot of women. But even if that didn't happen, then the next step would generally be with a husband, someone that you're married to.
Unfortunate is by design. The woman deliberately kicked the husband out. And it don't begin with the father. It begins with the mother keeping the family together. Actually receiving sperm only from a man that's going to stick around. Not a man that's going to stick her down. It begins with that. It begins with, first of all, her not choosing, because trust and believe, in most of these cases, it's a choice, with her not choosing to be a single mother. That's where it begins.
Generally speaking, going to be your protector. And even in 2025, I know this is true because women still want that. Women complain that men don't protect them. Like, that is a thing. And so even people who are out and saying, oh, well, you know, this is remove all genders and, you know, we should create a new family structure and all these different structures, whatever. You can say that all day, every day. But in the threat of war and when things get violent, no one is asking who a man is. Everybody's looking at the men being like, y'all need to protect and provide. Y'all need to man up. What's going on? When war happens, men are expected to go. So I'm saying that because biologically, just naturally, on a natural standpoint, the men have always been the ones who have been expected to be the providers. Was the dad, and the dad wasn't there, or when he is there, passes it off to the husband. This is why dads usually, they walk their daughters on the iron and they're saying, hey, I give her over now to her husband, and they build and he protects and provides, right? That's what that represents. But in African cultures, they gave like a dowry. It was a kind of a way of being like, okay, now she's under your covering. I'm saying that because women are advocating for things without understanding their part in creating it. And I'm not saying that it's her fault, or that it's necessarily their fault inherently that the community is in the state that it's in now, but you have to understand
it is her fault. And it's not that it's her fault that it is how it is now, but it's her fault that it's going to continue to be this way. See, when the next generation have the same problem, it's not going to be Shay Shardae's fault. It is going to be her fault. Women who refuse to create families and contribute to a community. It's your mama fault that you're in this situation. It's your mama fault that you don't have a daddy, just like it's going to be your children's fault that they don't have a daddy. So she is part of the problem. Sitting there with an empty vagina talking about, you know, where's my protector? Your protector is in your vagina. And since there's nobody there, there's nobody there. Like, what the hell? You want to know why other women aren't asking where their protectors are? Because their mouth is full of protectors. What do you mean? It's okay. To understand the level of stupidity that the world hears when they hear them, I'm going to bring up a farmer analogy. I want you to imagine a farmer that doesn't farm. They don't plow the ground. They don't seed the ground, and they don't water the seeds because they didn't put the seeds in the ground that they didn't plow. And then come spring, for whatever reason, they say, where's my crop? Like, pardon me? Where's my crop? You know you got to do stuff, right? You do understand that you got to do stuff to have stuff. All right, let's continue.
Is that the protection comes from community, and community comes from families, and families come from men and women, and we exist in a...
See, all the things that she just listed, the women thought that they can get it from the government. Protection comes from family, family comes from community. Once they just jumped the gun way too quick. Once Black women felt that they could get community benefits without contributing to a community, they just went for it. Hook, line, and sinker. I love the government and all the good things it's giving me. I don't need a man. And then one generation like where's the community? Like, what are you talking about? It was there. Your parents passed the community down to you, boomer. and you decided to not pass the community down to the next generation, and so on and so on and so on.
Culture that doesn't really advocate that, particularly in Black America. So here's the thing. Anybody who really wants to see active change has to go back to step one. And I think going back to step one is first looking at the last few decades and saying, okay, well, what happened to get us in the state that we are in now? What's gone on? Another thing we have to really consider and can't overlook are the impacts of feminism. Feminism at its core was about giving women equality and parity and giving them equal access to anything: money, jobs, homes, bank accounts, a woman being able to essentially provide and protect herself without needing any input of a man. That's ultimately what feminism created and is cultivated in a society. And so now what we're seeing.
By the way, I want to point out that Shay Sade is wearing purple. I've often said, those of you who've listened to me for quite some time, and those of you who are new here, hit that subscribe button. I've often said that fat women should not be allowed to wear purple. I feel that purple should be reserved for a certain type and caliber of woman, which Shay Sade qualifies for. And then there are those who should not be allowed to wear purple.
Are the impacts of that. What we are seeing are the ramifications of that, but these things were also done through a series of choices many women actually advocated for, and even some men, not really, I don't think, fully understanding how things are going to turn out. So to me, the answer to this is really clear. I don't take this black pill narrative, if you will, that Black women are just out there by themselves and they have to fend for themselves and do for themselves, because honestly, I don't really think many women have the capacity to do that well. I think men honestly have the ability to survive more by themselves, minimalistically by themselves, than women do. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe y'all may say I'm biased. That's just
No, it's
me,
not
but
a personal opinion. That's just a natural fact.
I don't think that that's the answer. I think if you want to have any form of protection and support, I do think it starts with being involved in a family. And if you unfortunately
Agreed.
did not come from one that was functional, cohesive, and you didn't learn what protection looks like, then you might have to learn. That might be a little bit of a learning curve, but that's usually going to start in connection with a man. Now, I know some of you ladies may want to advocate for women protecting each other and helping each other. Good luck. We have obviously seen historical instances in the past of women taking up arms, Black women taking up arms and protecting themselves when they need to. But
I've never heard of that historical thing ever, and I know historical stuff. That sounds like something, that sounds like some Hotepi crap that that they made up. I've never heard of it. So I forget her name. I think it's like Boudica or something like that. There was a Celtic woman, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong in the chat room. My history isn't 100%. There was some Celtic woman back in the day. The Romans was behaving reckless. They whipped her when her father died, or I think it was her husband died. They whipped her and raped the daughters, gang raped them, ruining them. So, even though they're princesses, they're ruined. They're not virgins anymore. And, she raised like an army of like 100,000 dudes, all ready to knuckle up in the Roman, and they made a lot of traction too. And then, it ended not to her favor, even though she got away, but not to the Iceni or the people in Britannia's favor. Sad story. But that's not an army of women. That's an army led by a woman who's really following her, not because they are prone to follow vaginas. And if they are, that explains why they lost. But not because of that, but because of who her husband/father was. And then there's the thought that, like, if this can happen to a princess or queen or something like that, it could happen to any of our daughters. So, she really was just like a rallying a rallying point of protection. But never have I seen like a army of period people just attacking. Oh crap. Okay. Allegedly, Dahomey women took up arms. All right, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Because I'm sick of people talking about the Dahomeys. Listen and listen to me good. The Dahomey warriors, quote unquote, were not actually like, okay, you have some tribes that participate in the slave trade, and then you have some tribes that didn't. Now, tell me in the chat room, what was one of the main things that they traded slaves for? I'll let you guess while I bring up what I'm bringing up to show you. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Yep, D. Scott got it. Guns. You know, it's easy to be a warrior when you have guns and they have spears. It is very easy to be a warrior then. It is very easy. No, it's not land. So, yeah, these so-called warriors were just people with guns against people without. And dang it, I thought I had that picture. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Now, this is a picture of the Dahomey women. Now, I want y'all to tell me what you notice about them, what they all have in common. I want y'all to tell me, especially Nancy. I want y'all to tell me, Nancy. I want y'all to tell me what do they have in common. I'll give y'all time to really think on this. They all have vaginas. Okay, that's one thing. What's another thing they have in common? I'll wait until we're 1 hour in, and then I'll give you the answer that everyone seems to be overlooking. They very young and skinny. Really? Yeah. Not a lot of hair. That's close to what I was coming to. Okay, I got 40 seconds. See if y'all come up with the right answer. All these answers are right, but I'm just saying, like, the answer is that's in my brain. All right, let's see. They're all dark skinned. Well, yeah, that's okay. Skinny by today's standard. I think they're just skinny. See, finally somebody got it. Somebody got it. Somebody understands what I notice and how I think. and how and what I think that they're all ugly as shit. 100% of them. They're ugly as fuck. You see, every society has found ways to get rid of its ugly, unfuckable bitches. Like, that's what a convent is. It's a way to get rid of your ugly, unfuckable bitches. If a woman became unfuckable, they actually sent her to a convent. It's a place where you send unruly, unfuckable, unwifeable bitches. You give them a stick and you tell them to go to the front line and die somewhere. Because that's one less bullet that's used on a male warrior. That's what's actually happening here. This was the Dahomey King's way to get rid of its ugly bitches. Notice how the queen doesn't get bothered or upset about this arrangement. Why? Because it's a bunch of ugly bitches. See, when you let ugly bitches go unchecked, then what do you have? You have the Black community. That's what you have. Every great civilization found a way to deal with this ugly bitches. All of them. Before the nunnery, the Romans, when they were pagans, they called it Sisters of Ceres or Daughters of Ceres, but it was something of Ceres. And it's where they sent their unwifeable ugly bitches to get them out the way. And first of all, they had to take a vow of shut the fuck up because they don't want their rhetoric spreading to the beautiful women of Rome. So first things first, shut the fuck up and do something. Like, just go do something. Plant gardens or some shit. Just stay out of regular society. That's what they did. It's called Sisters or Daughters or something, a series. Hell, they even had a place for them in Game of Thrones. Somebody said that's cold as hell. What the hell? Okay, you want to know what they did in America? They fucking killed them. And I ain't joking. I am not joking. They would drown her, and if she survived the drowning, they say, you see, now we know she's a witch, and then they burned her. Where do you think witches come from? It comes from society's desire to get rid of its ugly bitches. These women are not wearing purple. I know it's in black and white, but they're not wearing purple because deep down they know they're not worthy. Exactly. That was Salem's way of getting rid of its ugly bitches because they know that if they didn't, then they'll just turn Oprah and turn Whoopi Goldberg and fuck up the society because that's what they do. When left unchecked, they turn into Oprah and they fuck up regular women. Just like you got to get rid of a rotten fruit in order to like let all the other fruit taste good in my belly. Like they have to, society has to do that. And this was the Dahomeys' clever way of getting rid of its ugly bitches. Make them ward off, holy crap, that's a man. That's a man. And these bitches are so damn ugly that they blend in. They blend in with a dude. That's a dude. Right here in the top, the tallest one. At least I think it is. It's a damn. I can't even look at this anymore. Let me spare y'all. When you let ugly bitches wear purple and behave as if they are regular women, then this is the results. The modern world is the results of such depravity. Somebody said GC changed topics mid sentence. Yeah. If I see if I like, okay. I probably could have more viewers if I treated this like a business. But it's not a business. It's me saying the first fucking thing that comes to my mind. So yeah, if I'm looking at a picture, I'm like, oh shit, that's a man. That's what this show is. What are you talking about? Like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, this is me seeing shit and talking shit about the shit I see. That's what this show comes down to. Oh shit, Shay got something else to say. Should I watch that? No, I'm continue with the show. Black swirlers and divestors are officially in their cringe era. Oh shit, this is the woman eating dog food. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this one. All right, let's see. Hey, what's up, POT? Haven't seen you in a bit. Appreciate it. It says peace, brother GameChanger. Peace to you, bro. Haven't seen you in a little bit. All right. I know that this is supposed to be like an egregious thing. But it's just regular, like kinks and stuff like that. That's of it is, is a thing, but people have their kinks.
This one is for you. So we have thousands of you in our inbox, and you're all looking for white men.
I think y'all go to her show to watch it. So shout out to Shay Sade. Anyway, let's go to the next person. Let's see. There was something else that was said that I wanted to cover. All right. Holy shit. Ooh, Coffee Pill has something to say. I haven't watched this yet, but I'm going to watch it now. I'm not going to watch the commentary, so y'all have to watch him if you want to watch the commentary. But yeah, he be saying like coffee stuff. I am going to watch the video that he's covering. Yeah, it's coming in the kink community. It's not, I mean, like the race aspect, you kind of just, after a while of being in the community, you just kind of ignore like who's doing it for whom. I mean, unless the kink is really race specific, which this isn't, meaning that a white woman or a black man, you know, like if you swap the races out, it would still have like the same effect. Or if they were both the same race, it would still be the same thing because there isn't like a historical factor to it. You know, that's just I can understand. Shay Sade is not used to watching a chick eat dog food, you know, so I get stuff like that.
Deeply unattractive. I'm talking about the creator that you see here on screen right now, who got online unprovoked, who's now threatening to list down the names of everybody who hurt her feelings in her self-deletion letter. I'll play the video so you guys can hear it yourself. But guess who's offended? Guess who, like clockwork, is now crying?
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
A lot like I predicted this would turn out in
Stop saying
my video
stuff.
that I made to this
Here,
topic,
let's get to the video.
but that a black calling out the looks of a child. You guys may recognize the Stranger Things actor, Millie Bobby Brown. Let's check it out.
Mind you, she's criticizing the looks of an actual child.
Millie Bobby Brown was not a cute kid
The
because she
audacity.
had a very strong and very distinct face.
What's wrong
that
with that?
face has followed her into adulthood
So?
because that is her natural bone structure.
No
the
shit.
problem is she works in a system that rewards traditional feminine beauty and
What?
does not like reward necessarily her kind of beauty, which is strong faced, almost handsome. I know that
What?
word can be triggering to some people.
No, you shut the up because this video was unnecessary. Why are we applying beauty standards to a child who never?
So hold on. What is this called?
Okay. All right. Here's the thing. I don't think what she did is that bad because I've often done it. I forget he's Matthew something. It's McConaughey or Broderick, one of the Matthews. And I always thought that he grew up to be like a very, very, not necessarily unhandsome, but unmasculine adult. I really thought that. I was talking to a white dude about this not too long ago. Because we was talking about Civil War movies. I think he participates in those events, in the reenactments. I don't know how we got on that topic. But he grew up to be a very unmasculine looking adult. And that's something that has rung in my mind for a long time. And the reason that it did was because when I was a kid, those of you who are younger probably don't know this, he was in a movie called Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's older than me. So he was a teenager. I was a kid. And I remember thinking that, wow, he is like the coolest person on the planet. Next to Michael J. Fox, who went Back to the Future. But he was like one of the coolest white dudes I could ever think of. And I was like, when he grows up, he's just gonna be like this, you know, completely, you know, manly, masculine dude that because he didn't go to school. I don't know. But then we both got older. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he led Denzel Washington into battle on fucking Glory. I'm like, what the fuck? So do people do stuff like that? Yeah. Is he more handsome than I am? Possibly. I don't know. You know, depends on your type. So I can't really fault her. She did the same stuff I did. Like, and I also made the point that sometimes they pick when they're picking child actors, because that's what he was. He was a child actor when he was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But for all I know, he could have been like 27 years old. So a lot of people who are child actors, and but they're grown people that's playing children, whatever it is that stunted their growth to make them look like 16-year-olds at 27, it seemed to have continued throughout their life. And that's why when they are, like supposed to be actual adults, they still have like a youthful look. I mean, and I describe it as unmanly because it is unmanly because you look like a boy. So I was just making that point. I don't hate the guy. I'm not clowning him. I'm not saying he's the ugliest dude on the planet. Looking unmanly is what made you famous in the first place. So take it as a compliment. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. I mean, she just made a critique like I did. Now she is a lot less pretty than I am handsome. So the pushback is going to be there. And she's a lot less pretty than this woman is handsome. So the pushback is going to be there. But no, I get it. I get what she's saying. I'm not even going to fault her.
I really want to know what this is called. When somebody is this self-unaware, because here's what she doesn't want you to call this. She doesn't want you to say, because she's not so much offended that people are calling her ugly, right? Many people, not me, of course. I'm a nice guy. I'll never do something like that. But she highly offended that people are wondering if she's okay mentally. And
I don't know. I gotta side, and I rarely side with fat ugly chicks, but I mean, I gotta side with her on this one. No, she critiqued, and I don't watch Stranger Things. I didn't even know that the kids on Stranger Things are adults now, so it's been out that long. But and I don't know the chick on the screen, but she's just giving her opinion, like on what Hollywood, because I've always had that opinion that it's very difficult for child actresses and actors to become adult actors because the things, the neotenous qualities that make them good child actors don't always translate well into adulthood. And then sometimes there's just stuff that goes wrong. Like, yeah, you're cute, like you don't see Webster as an adult actor. I mean, come on now. There's reasons behind this. And she was just talking about that. I don't really, and ugly people have a right to an opinion. And I don't even know if she called the woman ugly. She's just saying that, she don't have a Hollywood look. And think about it. Like, I mean, how many of the kids on Game of Thrones grew up to become adult actors? Come on now. I gotta disagree with Coffee Pill in this, and that's my dude, but women that look like this can have opinions.
This think piece came from a red pill man.
And of course, the very woman reporting this story right there believes that people don't care about how you look, right? Believes that how you present yourself doesn't matter whatsoever, right? Stop judging women's bodies, body positivity.
Now, I disagree with her on that. I judge whatever the fuck I want to, and yours is shit. And your hair shit. And you're a disgrace to dark rimmed glasses. And you're a witch.
Delusion of herself, but is able to see why her friend here, right? Friends is way off. She's like, hey, I'm delusional, but not as bad as her. And of course, people had a lot to say to this chick here, crying victim.
Ha! Not the mama. For those of you who were born this century,
reporting this story right there believes that people don't care about how you look, right? Believes that how you present yourself doesn't matter whatsoever, right? Stop judging women's bodies, body positivity. Highly delusional herself, but is able to see why Her friend here, right? Friends is way off. She's like, hey, I'm
saying
delusional, but not as bad as
Bring up
her.
the
Of
picture
course,
again.
people had a lot to say too.
All right. This is a character. You can look him up on YouTube. He's called he's Baby Sinclair, also known by his catchphrase, not the mama. This is not a human. This is a dinosaur. I'm not sure what type of dinosaur he was supposed to be, but he's a baby dinosaur. And what he would do is, so he was born, he was hatched talking, and he could say every word. Like, he was born, he was like, I'm the baby, gotta love me. He could say every word, but he refused to say daddy. So he would call his dad, Earl Sinclair, not the mama. And I thought that shit was hilarious. And he would hit him on the head with a frying pan. And she do look just like him. Oh, that's funny.
This chick here crying victim. And so much so that they bullied her into changing her actual profile pic to the photo that kept on being posted. This one you see on screen.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. That's my favorite too. Not the mama.
All over social media. So you got some of these comments here that people have to say. Millie Bobby Brown was not a cute kid. Bam. And they responded back with this photo. And of course, there's the photo I just showed you. Here's someone else who says, meanwhile, the adult. There we go. Here's someone else who says, see her reaction first.
Okay.
I know what you're doing, and I shall call you out for it.
Oh my gosh. And then she put the turban on. Like, you're not helping. I can only see not the mama now. I can only see Baby Sinclair now.
In front of everyone, so that everyone else is in on the joke with us. Okay. I'm not upset that you did not get that video was about patriarchy and men taking away women's reproductive choices, even though I know for a fact that you are a supremely intelligent Black woman. I have liked your shit before. I'm not even upset about the fact.
To give you guys context, she's not talking about the chick I just played earlier. I'm going to show you the woman who she's responding to here in a little bit, but you got to listen to this.
I made a general statement about men, and you felt the need to personally attack my appearance and not even have the decency to attack me. But what I will call you out on is insinuating that there's something wrong with my mental health. Because as a Black woman in America.
Holy crap. Oh, dang it. All right, let's hear it. I'm watching this fresh with y'all.
Oh,
and as smart as I know you are, you know
a Black woman in America.
This part is incredibly all right. And I don't know if you've made it this far into the video, but hopefully someone will send you this. I do not know, nor do I claim to know, if you were attached to the lady who offed herself a few weeks ago on TikTok Live. But I can tell based on your behavior that you have a body count. You have a body count.
Everybody has a body count.
Because if you can spend 2 minutes calling me every type of ugly in the book, and then at the bottom in the caption have the audacity to say, I hope her mental health is okay after that self-inflicted injury. That's deep. That's deep. And I thank God that I am mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Shut up, man. Just stop. We just saw you make fun of a child. We just saw you call men in general deeply unattractive. Message to anybody.
I don't know if she called men in general deeply unattractive. Okay, I'm going to skip past this. Thanks to Coffee Pill for bringing this up. All right, I'm going to respond to this, though. It says, isn't the concept of child not acknowledging the father and being violent with him as a child and everyone thinking it's fun, isn't that how feminists trained your generation? That's part of it, absolutely. The whole Homer Simpson narrative, you know, which before him was Fred Flintstone and, you know, after him is Peter Griffin. You know, the buffoonish dad figure where fatherhood is not a position of authority or respect anymore. It's, you know, it's a position of buffoonery is definitely a thing. I didn't take it that way. I took it as, and this is something I just noticed in general in dealing with kids and babies, is that girls gravitate towards the father, and boys gravitate towards the mother. I just kind of took it like that. That's why you have things like, mama's boy and daddy's girl. You don't really have sayings, or you don't hear it too often about mama's girl or daddy's boy. So I took it like it's part of that. Like, this is a mama's boy and he hit his dad on the head with a frying pan. But you're right. It is part of a greater, thing going on that they have. That's true. All right. Yeah, I see Snuggles from time to time. Oh, crap. So now the Young Turks is talking about Pearl. Apparently, Pearl just got humiliated during a debate. I really don't think that girl's too bright, because she actually had a good defense, and lead attorney, she actually could have won against lead attorney, but maybe she didn't want to win because she didn't want to humiliate a black man on the show. But to go with everything else that was going on. But yeah. Anyway. I really do appreciate the things you do. Yeah, no worries. I appreciate you being here. It's funny because I don't like either of them. I do not like either of them. I don't like that Anna bitch either. Every now and again, she'll say something. I don't watch Young Turks often. Every now and again, she'll say something that'll piss me off, something famously. But the last major piss off was her interpretation of the Jonathan Major situation. I was thinking like, this bitch. So I don't really care who won on that one. Somebody said, how could she would have won against lead attorney? Listen, I don't know what it is with Americans. I think that collectively we're particularly innumerate, or maybe lead attorney just noticed she was the one to fuck with like that. But she was right. When you're talking about numbers and, especially in divergent demographics, you always bring up the ratio, not the count. So he's talking count and she's talking ratio. And every time, she would point that out, he just brought up like, no, who is on welfare more? It's like, well, yes, they're going to be on welfare more because it's like 5 times as many of them. But no, as a ratio, no, but who's on it more? Yeah, I mean, if she was more competent and articulate, she would have won that, but she's not, because she's a dizzy broad. All right. What's next on the lineup? Hey, I'm not gonna show it because it's a music video, but for whatever reason on my feed, LL Cool J's big old butt came up. Actually, I'm not even gonna mention it. I'm not even gonna mention what stood out to me on that song. Maybe y'all could say it in the chat room. But I was like, oh, okay. Okay. That didn't age well. All right. Moving on. Let's go to my history, see what's out there. What do you think about the couple that's getting a divorce that everyone seems to be worried about? I didn't know the couple. The first time I seen it was when I seen Chantel this morning, and she brought them up, and it reminded me of LaToya Forever, and I always thought that, because with LaToya Forever, who I did watch before she was married and during the marriage, and then then the divorce, I always thought that she was like the perfect type chick, like, sexy crazy, sexy crazy, but crazy in a funny way type chick. I always thought that she was that chick. And then she just divorced Adam for no reason and said, I'm for the streets. And I was like, wow, now I know what a chameleon looks like. It looks like Latoya forever. Like, and they had like 3 beautiful kids. I mean, divorcing ugly kids, when you have ugly kids, I get it, because, you just hope to get some better genes. But no, they had like 3 beautiful kids, and she's like, fucking them for the streets. That was weird. And they're light skinned, so it reminded me of that. But that's the only thing I can think of on that. All right, let's see. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I think yeah, let's share this one, this bitch. Okay, let's see. That makes no sense. GameChanger will have to move on with that. What the hell? No. See, fucking enumerate bastards. Okay, let's start here, Chaos. What is your definition of ratio, and what are they used for? Let's start there. Okay, I remember this chick. So I'm gonna cover her. Oh, actually, it's got a lot of them. Okay, so yeah, I'll get it all in one swoop. All right, let's see.
I've never heard or seen a Hispanic man say, I date outside of my race because Hispanic women talk too much and they're spicy and they have Hispanic women act very, 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 very similar to Black women. And guess what their men do? They get their ass up at 3, 4 in the morning. They hop out the van and what's wrong with y'all?
You know what? This young lady.
Oh, okay. Ever notice how the bar shifts for other races of men? Ever notice that? Ever notice that when dealing with Black men, the word of the day is, I don't want no 9 to 5. I want this. I want somebody who's rich that don't have to work for his money. Is essentially what the bar just so happens to be. Ever notice that? How many Black men wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and have to do whatever 3 a.m. workers do? I'm trying to think of a job that would require 3 a.m. And I'm thinking about people that stock shelves and empty trucks. Or do they do that at night? I don't know. Oh, I know a job. Donut bakers. Donut bakers wake up early, and they bake the donuts, and then they drive them to the donut shops. So you can get your donut at 7. So do black women's panties drop when they hear that a black man is a donut baker? No, but Latin women's panties do drop. And then there's this whole, Latino men don't date out. Why in the fuck do you date out? Oh, somebody even said it. Butchers, bakers, and garbage men. Yeah, you're right. Because the garbage be gone by 7. Like, if I forget to wake up in the morning or Thursday night, if I forget to put it out, I'm like, oh, I'll just do it. I'll just do it later. I'll just do it when I wake up. By the time I wake up, that garbage is gone. Like everybody else in the neighborhood on the block, their garbage is gone. And I gotta either push my buggy down the street, push my garbage down the street, or wait until next week to get the trash done. So you're right, they do wake up early. But I mean, when do black women say, oh, I'm looking for a city bus driver, I'm looking for a garbage man, I'm looking for a baker, I'm looking for, what was the other one? A butcher. When do they say stuff? They never do. In fact, isn't it Ebony K. Williams who said, I will only date a bus driver if he owns the bus company? Wasn't that her that said that? Well, guess what? Every Latina woman looks like Ebony K. Williams. And they actually date their bus drivers. She said, why don't they date out? Why don't they date out? Why don't Latino men date out? What in the fuck? That's like saying, why don't a chef eat out? You already have the thing that you want there. And that thing is Latino women. Like, what the hell? That's like saying, why do people in California move? The hell would I move for? Am I going to move to Flint, Michigan? And this isn't a shot at Flint, Michigan people, but your weather's trash. Your weather's trash. That's like saying, why don't Nebraska got a homeless problem? Because your weather is trash. What in the hell? If I was homeless, why in the hell would I be in Nebraska? Yes, we got like homeless, like flooding the whole damn street. We're liberal. We're warm. You don't have to burn a garbage can underneath a fucking freeway. It's just regular warm. And you got people with money and bleeding hearts. Like, what the hell? Why the hell would a Mexican fucking date out? Why the hell would they complain? No, nothing to complain about. And then there's this whole thing that, Latina women act just like us. Shut the fuck up. Nobody on the planet acts like you. There isn't a woman on the planet that behaves like you do. Not a one. You think Brazilian women buy Brazilian Remy? No, they just grow it. Like every other fucking group of women on the planet. Holy shit. I'm not even covering the points that the author of this video is about to cover. Who's heard the term spicy black women? Listen. We have been complimenting that shit for years. We have been complimenting that shit behavior for years. Oh, y'all want some proof? I'm going to come back to this. Y'all want some proof? I see it in your brain. Y'all want some proof? I got you some proof. Okay. Hold on. I got your proof right here. since you're trying to be difficult. All right. Let's see. Okay. So what you're about to see on your screen is this is LL Cool J, you know, him serenading Keisha, basically. Hold on. So all that attitude and sass, we have been singing its praises in the 80s, and then it just turned retarded. Like there is a such thing as too much spice. Here we go. Actually, I'll read the lyrics. I'll read the lyrics so you could know, so y'all can know what the fuck I'm talking about, especially you young boys. All right. Around the way, girl. Lyrics. All right, let's see. Okay. You got me shook up, shook down, shook out on your lovin'. On your lovin'. I want a girl with extensions in her hair, bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair, a Fendi bag, and a bad attitude. That is all I need to get me in a good mood. She can walk with a switch and talk with street slang. I love it when a woman ain't scared to do her thing. Standing at the bus stop, sucking on a lollipop. Once she gets pumping, it's hard to make the hottie stop. She likes to dance to rap jams. She's sweet as brown sugar with candy yams. Honey coated complexion. Using using Cami. Let's hear it for the girls. She's from around the way. And then they go into the chorus. I need an around the way girl. Shook up, sugar. Okay, it says silky milky, her smile is like sunshine. That's why I had to dedicate at least one rhyme to all the cuties in the neighborhood. Because if I didn't tell you, then another brother would. You're sweet like sugar with your gangster talk. Want to eat you like a cookie when I see you walk. With your rayon silk or maybe even denim. It really doesn't matter as long as you're in them. I think y'all heard enough of this. I think y'all heard enough of, you know, a person who ladies love, apparently. You know, like serenading Keisha. Now, here's the problem with spice. Here's a problem with spice. Spice is meant to be added to something. So let's just say you put hot sauce isn't supposed to be drinked. You're actually supposed to put it on food. And if you don't like the food, it really doesn't matter what the sauce is. What am I getting at? Women used to be hotter. And when you're dealing with an attractive woman, those lyrics make sense. Because when you're dealing with an attractive woman, all the things that he was, all the extra stuff that he said makes sense. For example, Wait. With your rayon silk or maybe even denim, it really doesn't matter as long as you're in them. You see, when a woman is beautiful, and let's just say, Chloe Bailey, does it really matter if she's wearing denim or silk? Does it really matter? Like when they look like that, do the extensions in the hair and bamboo earrings, at least two, does any of that really matter when it's fucking Chloe Bailey? Perfect example. Some say Danica looks hood. I'd say that, and she'd say that too. And she probably do have a pair of bamboo earrings. But given her looks and personality, do any of that shit even matter? The spice don't matter when the meat is good. When the thing that you put the spice on is just spectacular, It's supposed to add to something that's existing. And the thing about it, the reason why is because in the Black community, the entree is shit. This stuff like you can't put spice on chitlins and say, "Ooh, that's some good chitlins." No, it's crap. It's crap. You put it on a delicious burrito, and then it's like, "Ooh, this is some good burrito." You see, Black women, they sell you spice, but they don't sell you the food. Your food is shit. Your food is terrible. All right, back to the topic at hand, to the video at hand. He willfully excuses any and all female aggression, especially from manly Black woman boss bees. Well, okay, yes and no. You got to understand. You see, here's the thing, and I was telling Chantel this on her show years ago, and I think I told Fantastic this too. When they were talking about, I'll pay your rent. They were talking about the music back then, which sounds very simpish now. A simp is really somebody who does for women who are disrespectful. Back in the day, Black women defaulted as respectful. Therefore, when somebody was to make a song, and don't get me wrong, that song where I'll pay your rent, I give good love, that song is overboard even for back then. But generally speaking, like the 112s, the Casey JoJo and stuff like that, like that was coming from a place where the women were respectful and valuable and beautiful. Therefore, the song made sense. But of course, if you play it now and then you look around at the women of the Black community, you'll say, "What in the fuck are you singing about? Is this what you niggas was singing about?" See, so they were singing to different. See, this is what I'm talking about. All R&B music was simping. It's only simping when it's trash women. If it's regular women, it's just being romantic. It's only simping when you're doing it for trash women. And right now, the general assumption, the default setting is trash. So if you make an R&B song, it's like, why are you singing? Why are you love singing to these trash bitches? That's the difference. For example, and once again, I'll read you the lyrics. Here we go. This was one of my favorite videos of the time because what he did was he popularized a style of dress that I already had. but it was less nerdy when he did it. And this is oh no, not this one. This is the wrong song. Hold on. Oh, that's what it's called. I had the wrong fucking song. Here we go. All right. This is Slow Down by Bobby Valentino. I was wearing a sweater vest before he was, but he made it look better. I saw you walking down Melrose. You look like an angel straight out of heaven, girl. I was blown away by your sexiness. All I have to do is catch up to you. Slow down. I just want to get to know you, but don't turn around because that pretty round thing looks good to me. Slow down. Never seen anything so lovely. Now turn around and bless me with your beauty, cutie. You see how different that sounds if you was to sing it to a modern bitch? You don't even want to talk to these modern hoes. You don't. You're just inflating their overly inflated ego. So, but because he was singing about women of a different time, of the 2005 women who actually, would stop and give you the time of day, it means something different. It means something different. I know you like trans meat, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah. So that's what I have to say about that. And Chantel and Fantastic are younger. I think they're closer to each other's age. So yeah, that is what it is.
He has a point. I don't really hear too many Hispanic men complain about that either. I mean, I'm pretty sure they do. I just don't. Well, number one, show me a bunch of Hispanic women online talking bad about their men, calling them broke, calling them losers because they don't make six figures. Show me those women.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
Number two, even though you say these women have the same attitude as black women, but their men will still get up and go out and work and take care of the family. But I notice you seem to leave out a very important point. Those women take care of their home. They cook, they clean, they take care of.
Wait. Oh, that's Tiffany Haddish. Okay. He killed it. He killed it. Black women do not do that.
The kids, and if there's any extended family living there, they'll take care of them too. They don't look at housework like slavery. They look at it as taking care of their family. Now, like you said, they might have an attitude.
Black women, they try to hustle. Like, I'll cook and clean only for a man that can afford a chef and a maid. Like, wait, what? Yeah, I want a man that can afford both a chef and a maid, and then once I find him, I'll cook and clean. Okay.
To when they're doing it, but guess what? They're doing it. And number three, you don't hear a bunch of Hispanic women coming online talking about how independent they are, how much they don't need men, and how men are useless, and then turn around and expect these same men to want to come and provide and take care of them. And before y'all start with the he don't love his mother crap, I am a black man who only wants to be with a black woman. So you can miss.
Notice how you say it wants to be. Meaning he's not with one. Because there aren't enough decent black women to go around. There just isn't. Of
course, I am not talking about all black women, and I'm not talking about all Hispanic women. Now, I shouldn't have to say that, but I've been online long enough to know I do. So like I said,
he watched me. He watched my show. Salute to him.
You're making a good point, but so am I. Checkmate. Shoot!
Yep. He watched my shit. The chess reference, he watched my shit.
If a man can
I'm going to pause right here And I want y'all to imagine what I'm thinking. I want you to just think about what I'm thinking. All right, let's continue. She's spicy.
Not fully financially provide for you.
Wait a damn minute.
No.
With your friends and start holding them accountable, because the only reason she feels comfortable coming online saying this is because she probably got some girlfriends around her pumping her.
Okay, now here's the caveat, and this is hold on.
Well, coming online saying this.
Okay, think about, she's not really saying anything terrible. Unless you read between the lines. And the reason why the author of this video immediately seen the terrible thing that she's saying is because he's reading between the lines. And yes, that is witchcraft. Okay, let's read these words. If he can't fully provide for you, he's not your husband. This is what Black women used to do, and they used to say stuff like this, and it seemed harmless. But the devil is in the definitions. And the definition of the word fully. They're immigrants. They're immigrants right now who are fully providing for, you know, their wife and 6 kids. I'm not talking about just Latinos. There are immigrants who are doing that. You know, first generation, you know, they work at their at the family's restaurant or something, you know. At a sushi place that, you know, the successful member of the family owns. He works at 7-Eleven from 7 to 11. And he don't get overtime. Yet they provide fully for their wives. But you see, the definition of fully varies from bitch to bitch to bitch. Exactly. Hair, nails, babysitter for somebody else's baby. You see, the definition of fully is fluid. But he knows, because he's been dealing with this, what she actually means by fully. Because guess what? Different women have different definition of fully. You know, food, shelter, clothing is not what she's talking about when she says fully. Somebody said, what the fuck is on my screen? Oh, this here is what you call an ugly bitch.
It's because she probably got some girlfriends around her pumping her head up like some flat tires. Lady, please get off these people's internet and go sit down somewhere.
Ain't that a bitch? Okay, I'm going to play the whole thing on this one. Look at her nails. So when Connor said, you know, hair, nails, and makeup, let's not forget the makeup, because apparently it takes like, you know, 3 figures to do their makeup. But, you know, yeah. What was I saying? Look at her nails. That just look expensive. He needs to be able to fully support me. But listen at this garbage. Shout out to the brother that found it, Skylar Dream.
Energy of like a gladiator and a knight, because as soon as you tell a man that you're dating, he folds like a piece of paper.
I told you. You ain't tell me.
And when a woman says that she's dating, it doesn't mean that she's just sleeping around or not being intentional. It means may the best man win. Embrace competition, but thank you.
This ain't no movie.
He's gonna go a different direction than I am. But wow. Okay. It's sad that she mentioned Gladiator because and Knights really, but more so Gladiators because Gladiators were slaves. Gladiators were slaves. Gladiators were slaves. They fought because if they didn't fight, they would be castrated, and the Romans would likely use you for another reason. And I think you'd rather fight to the death than, the other stuff they have in mind. Yeah. But in her narcissistic brain, every man who has fought for anything ever was doing it for her pussy. Imagine going to like a gladiatorium arena. Imagine going to the Roman Colosseum. And you're sitting like way in the back. Just sitting there thinking like, ooh, they fighting for my pussy. Or you come across some tourney knights who are fighting for the honor of their house, their family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they could be recognized. And there was a lot of reasons that they were fighting in tournaments. But really, it was more of a, you see that nigga on the ground? That's going to happen to anybody that come fucking with me and mine. Because I'm from the house of whoop ass, where we whoop ass. So the next time y'all think about having like a war against the house of whoop ass, understand that you are fighting the house of whoop ass. That's what they're fighting for. That's like part of the reason that they're fighting. They're and quite frankly, they're doing it for money too. Let's not forget that part. Like money, power, respect. What the fuck? But you're there like, ooh, this must be over my pussy. Jesus fucking Christ. And guess what? Even if it is over you, it's still not over your pussy. Even if some lord said, to the knight that wins this tournament, he shall marry my daughter. There's still money. He still paid you. Her father is giving you money. He's not doing it for your pussy. His father is giving you money. It's called a dowry. He actually paid you to fuck his daughter. Like that's holy shit. These women is so vaginally centered that they look at history and they're like, oh yeah, that must have been for pussy. Courtney Michelle said some shit like that. Like the whole Trojan War, like, yeah, that was over Helen's pussy. Holy crap. Like they can only understand global events as it pertains to their box. They cannot see outside their box. World War II was about pussy. Wait, what? And that's what this chick is on. And now, because there isn't enough, senseless violence, She's like, what happened to the men that fought over my pussy? Now, there's always a prize. Men realize because we have a lot to lose in a fight. We have a lot to lose, so we always have to weigh that against what we gain and what's the possibility of gaining said thing. Like I said it, and I stand by it. I would fight John Jones for $100K. And now that I'm thinking on it, I'd ask for $250 and maybe settle for something in between. But I genuinely would. Me as a regular nerd, I genuinely would, because I weighed the what I have to lose, which, you know, the ass whooping, versus what I would gain, and that's the 6-figure for one day of work, minus the training, of course. But you know, it pales in comparison. I would definitely do that, and I wouldn't think about it. I would definitely do it. Would I fight John Jones for your pussy? Fuck no. The fuck is wrong with you? Why would you even think that? Why would you even think that? Fuck no. You see, this whole I'm the prize thing, it's like, okay, you're the prize, but you're not worth competing for. And that's it. You most definitely need $200K to fight John Jones. Yeah. It depends on your definition of need, but I really want it. And I want it enough to fight him for it. Absolutely. Press 1 in the chat room if you do it too. And press 2 in the chat room if you wouldn't. No, it's no shame. You know, it don't mean you're broke if you would do it. I'm not broke, but I'd do it. And then she said something to the effect of, I date multiple guys. That means that you have to compete. And, you know, that's something that's generally understood. Guys are, of course, going to ask, is it worth the competition? And then she says, I'm not necessarily going to sleep with them. And I'm like, so you're not even giving out a prize. You're basically having guys compete for a pussy that they're not going to get. You're having guys compete for pussy that they're not going to get. Somebody said, I wouldn't train. I'm lazy. Listen, no, you give me $200,000, then I'm going to, I'll give it my all. I know I'm going to lose, but I'll give it my all. I will. I'm not gonna be like, what do you call those? Punchy. I'm not gonna be like, you know, a person that goes there with, you know, and then fall the moment he punches me and then tap out. No, I'll give you a fight. The best fight I can give you.
These men ain't gonna be out here fighting for you like the
pussy either.
These men are gonna jump in the ring and fight for you like it's WrestleMania. Well, you keep on believing that. You're gonna keep getting disappointed. There are some men out there who are willing to do all that, but it ain't many. So if you find one, you better hope you like him, because it ain't gonna be too many after him. These men know now when a woman likes you, she's not gonna expect you to go through the Hunger Games to get her. So you can keep making these PSAs all you want, but it ain't gonna change anything. These men ain't doing it. And you also said just because you're dating multiple men doesn't mean you're sleeping with them, which is true, but it doesn't mean you're not sleeping with them either. And these men aren't gonna keep spending their their time and money trying to figure that out. So you can keep doing what you're doing, but just remember the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you don't get a different result, there it is.
True story, no cap. Guy that I've known since 7th grade reaches out, asks for my number because he's going to be coming back to Chicago and he wants to take me out. We're on FaceTime a couple days ago. And he's telling me how he's been watching what I'm doing, you know, and bigging me up, all of that good stuff. But this is why I tell my daughter, when you start conversations like this, just listen. You don't do a lot of talking. Just listen.
This woman is a single mother with a slavery head wrap. Ever notice how they never do the stuff that you want them to do, like their hair? But they do the stuff that you don't give a shit about, like their nails. Ever notice that? She got the neck tats to match too. And this dude is horny. We all been on a drought. I'm not calling him, I'm not faulting him for that. We've all had droughts. Trying to think if I called the ex during a drought. No, I didn't call an ex during a drought. I did go over an ex's house during a drought. She lived in a city called Fairfield, and which is about 70, 80 miles from Oakland. And it was like, she was my ex for like a couple years, but I was hoping that she still lived in the apartment that I had met her at. So when I was driving past Fairfield, I took the exit, stopped by, and went up to the thing and knocked on the door, and she wasn't there. And there was a overweight Mexican woman who gave me like a flirty look, and I'm like, oh wow, you know, maybe this would, but she was fat, so it was a loss. All right. But yeah, he called her. He called her, you know, he called the single mother that looked like that because it's been a while. Yeah, I just so happened to be on my way to Chicago. Really? For why? Why were you on your way to Chicago? Can we fuck? Is really what's that about?
Somewhere in the conversation, it shifted to him saying, but you know, you seem like you might be a handful. I asked why. Like I have to ask everybody who seems to think.
Wait, I'm confused. Hold on. And I'm confused because I think that she's just lying. Let me go back in the story.
And he's telling me how he's been watching what I'm doing, you know, and bigging me up, all of that good stuff. But this is why I tell my daughter.
Okay, so this story is cap. This story is cap. Because if he'd known you since 7th grade, he would know by now if you're high maintenance or not. You seem like you, anything that follows the phrase "you seem like you" pertains to someone that you don't really know very well. You know, like if I was to say to Connor, if I was to say, hey, you know, you seem like you like roller coasters, I don't know you well enough to know if you like roller coasters or not. Like, that's what that means. You seem like you like carnivals. So yeah, we already know right now the story is cat. That it's largely cat. And she gave the disclaimer, no, this is true story, no cap. Because to prepare you for the cap.
Reaches out, asks for my number because he's going to be coming back to Chicago and he wants to take me out. We're on FaceTime a couple days ago. And he's telling me how he's been watching what I'm doing, you know, and bigging me up, all of that good stuff. But this is why I tell my daughter, when you start conversations like this, just listen. You don't do a lot of talking, just listen. Somewhere in the conversation, it shifted to him saying, but you know, you seem like you might be a handful. I asked why. Like I have to ask everybody who seems to think that I'm the problem. I said, well, why is that? What have I said or done that makes you think I could be a handful?
In the last 30 years. This did not happen. This is complete cat. So she's obviously building up to make a point that she's given a fictitious story to make a point that she's about to make. So let's see what that is.
Ultimately, what he got around to was that I'm not dependent on a man for his money or his resources or anything like that. And I said, that doesn't mean I don't deserve to be with someone who can provide. I just, right now, I can't sit back and wait on a man to be that provider.
Yep. And there you go. This is the old, I got my shit together and I can't sit around and wait for your bum ass to catch up with me. But just because I have my shit together, that doesn't mean I don't deserve you to give me your shit too. And that's why I made this story. To one, tell everybody I got my shit together. And two, to tell men that I still want your shit. I just don't need it. And I want to appreciate it. But you should still just give it to me.
I have 2 children.
And I'm a single mother of 2. And I ain't got no damn hair. I wear my stocking cap during the day and on video. But, you know, just because I got my own doesn't mean I don't want your shit. Listen, here's the thing about these independent women. And first of all, we don't even know if she's independent. She's probably on welfare or some shit. She damn sure looks like it. But the whole point of being with a woman with money, for a man who has his own money, is that she's less prone to be interested in you for provisions alone. That's one. And for 2, if she divorces you, she's not able to take all your shit. Those are like the only pluses, but you don't come with those pluses. Jesus.
And my kids have to depend on me solely. So either I'm going to get it or we out here bad. Like, not that I have to explain it, but you do realize that, like, there is a such thing as being self-sufficient. I'm not too.
Yeah. Yeah. She's wig sufficient.
independent, I'm self-sufficient. It's a difference. And he said, with a straight.
Well, if you're not dependent on someone, then you are independent.
Face. He said, you know, it's easier if you got like maybe somebody younger or someone who doesn't have as much.
It seems like at best, you have basic adult stuff like car, clothes, and a place to rest your head.
Why is that easier? He said, because you could take somebody like that to Ocean Prime and she would be impressed. So ultimately, y'all use y'all money to attract these women, or your notoriety, or whatever it is. That is what y'all use to attract these women. Y'all want them to need you. Why? I see that as a form of control. Like because you can dangle that money in front of her. Like you keep talking about the need. That's a form of control to me. The need. But what about people who just want you? So I told him, I said, well, you know what? I don't think it's any need for us to go out. Like, we catching up right now. But if that is what you are looking for, I'm not it. And I'm okay with that. So I'm going to pass on going out when you get here. It's like, are you serious? I'm dead ass. What I got from that conversation, don't be smart. Don't be ambitious. Don't be a go-getter. They're not going to see you as someone that can compliment them as a man. They're going to see you as competition. And for that very reason, I'm out.
Now, I just want to say that there are men out there like.
Okay. That was hard to watch. Okay, 6. Why in the hell is my mouse not working? Okay. All right, give me this. There we go.
Because Hispanic women talk too much and they're spicy and they have attitudes. And guess what? They do not complain about it. What's wrong with y'all?
You know what?
Okay, now we know what Black women are on when we look at this last one, you know, the one in the red, and she was talking, you know, about, you know, oh, because you're not asking for someone to compliment your life. You're not. Or excuse me, you're not asking for someone to wake up 3, 4, you know, in the morning to, you know, work his job, and you live within the means of both of you. You're not talking about that. You're asking for someone to compliment your life. And here's the problem with these compliment your life bitches. Bitch, you old. You old with kids. Why? What you did, your mating strategy, because you feel that, okay, here's Black women's mating strategy. Women who think like her. Here's their mating strategy. Earn as much money as you can and then look for a man to double it. Earn as much money as you can and then look for a man to double it. That's her mating strategy. Now, the problem with this mating strategy is that it takes time to earn this, and during that time, your value has depreciated. And that's why she's in the situation she's in right now. Because I know she thinks that she's Oprah, but she's not. And I'm pretty sure that like 50% of the black men that exist on the planet or in the country makes more money than she does. And they're just not interested in her because you look like that and you have a bunch of kids and shit. And that's the beginning and end of it. Like, I want somebody to compliment you. You have nothing to compliment. Nothing! You have nothing to compliment. Send it to my email, D. Scott.
You do realize that like there is a such thing as being self-sufficient. I'm not too independent. I'm self-sufficient. It's a difference.
And the cold part is that the whole fucking story is made up. The whole fucking story is made up. That's the cold part. They just make up stories that just fit whatever their narrative is so perfectly. I'm looking for a young woman because I'm insecure and I want somebody I can financially control. Like their story just always involve, oh, and you pretty for a dark-skinned girl. You know, their stories always involve like this retarded straw man that they paint on every man, particularly black men in this case. Like their stories is always just some guy that comes like, I'm intimidated by you. You so rich and perfect. I'm just so intimidated by you. Well, I'm just self-sufficient. There's a difference between self-sufficient and independent. Duh. I just want somebody young that's low maintenance, that don't cost a lot. Okay, sir, I'm not interested in you. But why? Like, who are you fooling with this bullshit?
Deal with women who got a lot of stuff going on, because to some men, their money is their superpower. So if the woman has money too, he loses his superpower. So there are men out there like that. I don't think this lady is lying, and I do not think she's wrong for not wanting to date that man, especially since
no man with money is losing his superpower because you have money. He's not. I'm talking about her individually. See, she's talking about somebody like an actress or somebody like a well-off actress who you can't really set up a sugar baby situation with because she has her own money. That's what she's talking about. That is not you, and that is not your situation, and nobody's fantasizing about you. Men with money are not thinking about your ass. They're just not.
he told her that's what it was. But I do want to talk about this situation as a whole, because a lot of women who are in her situation think it is because of that, and it isn't. Like she even said at the end, don't be smart, don't be ambitious, don't be a go-getter, because men won't want you. And that is not necessarily true.
No, don't be an ugly bitch with neck tattoos and 2 kids and a scarf on your head. You see, here's the thing. It's like they're pretending not to know. And of course, that's not, it's reverse psychology. She's like, don't be these things. She knows that that's just encouraging them to be these things. She knows that the whole reason that they get basic jobs is to intimidate motherfuckers. That is the only reason that they do it. And the truth of the matter is, men aren't really intimidated like that. And well, another reason is that to give them a sense of higher value, but no, your value isn't in your wallet. It's not. I mean, it may give you like more leveraging power in relationship negotiations, but guess what? No one wants to negotiate with you with or without money. So it's a non-starter, really. You look like shit.
The issue with those women, for most men, isn't because he can't control you with his money. It's because those women in a lot of those situations don't know how to function with the man who comes into their life when they've been doing it all this time. And if a man has something going on or he's successful, he is not going to deal with you when he can deal with a woman who doesn't have those issues. And what are those issues? She's used to calling the shots. She's used to making the final decision. She's used to being the one in charge. She's used to doing whatever she want to do. She doesn't want to listen to nobody because she's never had to. Nobody can tell.
No, she's used to being single. That's what it's really about. She's used to being single. Because she feels that if she earns more money, you see, these bitches watch Scarface and they think that they're Tony Montana. In America, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. Except they got it twisted and they weave. And they like, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the men. It's like, I don't think it works that way. Yes, it does. So men like money over youth, beauty, and fertility? Uh-huh. Well, where's the proof of this? Because I got neither. Okay.
Tell her about herself, her hair, her clothes, nothing. This woman is not ready for a man to come in and say anything to her, but take over the stress of paying bills and being the protector and all this other stuff. But they want to remain exactly where they are. They still want to do everything they were doing before he got there. And that is just not how relationships work. If you want a man to come in who is successful, to come in that situation, there are things you're going to have to change too. Now, I'm not saying this woman can't change, but I will say she comes across a certain way where I know I wouldn't want to deal with her. Well, I will tell you straight up, the tattoos on her neck was the first problem I see.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you could just start there. Like, you know, in addition to all the genetic shit that she got going on that's not to her favor, you know, in addition to that, you know, there is the neck tattoo of another nigga's face that you have to think about. And then and then there's the whole, what do you do? Like, what do a man in any profession do with a bitch with a tattoo like that on her neck? Like, yeah, so the governor's is having a get together where, you know, if I'm lucky, I will double my business through a new state contract. So would you accompany me to this event? Because you're a successful woman, right? It's going to accentuate me. You see shit like this. And trust me, if you invited her to something like that, she will have a scarf on her head.
You got tattoos in your neck. You're already telling me that you are not somebody that I would want to deal with. But it isn't about me. This is about other men. And just the way she was talking, the way she comes across, she does seem like she would be difficult. I'm not saying she's difficult. She just seems like she would be difficult. So I'm just saying.
Just say it, damn it. She's difficult. Who is this? The CJ Salter TV. Shout out to him. All right.
I don't want women to leave this video and think that they can't be smart and got stuff going on. That is not the issue for most men, especially in 2025. We're having.
No, I mean, that's just her way of saying, you know, it's the man's problem. Okay, we're going to move on from this foolishness. I think that's a lot. No, I was going to do Chantel too. I was watching her earlier. All right. So I'm going to do half of hers. Give me something to eat. Oh, that's the old one. Okay, let's. Oh no, that's the right one. Okay, yeah, yeah. So she's good at picking them too. Okay.
You guys single because he ate peanuts, he ate shell.
Okay. I rarely eat pussy. I do eat shellfish and peanuts. Well, not peanuts, but I do eat shellfish way more often than I eat pussy. As y'all know, I have dedicated my life to not getting herpes. And you also know that I'm a very selfish human being. And as such, I just don't. Have I received complaints for not doing so? Yes. Have I lost opportunities for not doing so? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do I not do it? No. No. After a reasonable time of a significant relationship, absolutely. I do that. But she's talking about like in the initial stages of a first fuck no. Fuck no. She's talking about when the last dude's semen is still alive inside of her. Fuck no. And then, quite frankly, um, I'm very, very, and I've been told this. I'm very, very bad at it. Probably because I don't like doing it. So, really, it doesn't really work for me for the reason that it works for most men. Meaning, like, most men do it to keep her coming back. That's what they do to keep them coming back, um, on a quid pro quo. But for me, once it's done, they don't want to come back because they know that this nigga um, don't eat pussy right. And so it's better for me to actually, keep fucking until, they get attached for other reasons. That's just me. But I mean, now I do notice that as time has gone on, it is, women are becoming more sensitive to that. They're definitely becoming more demanding of that particular act. Which makes life sucks for me. And I gotta figure out new ways of not giving a shit while pretending like I do.
After going on a vacation to Mexico, I found out that he took his ex-girlfriend to Mexico the following week. How are you
These
guys
bitches be
single?
lying. What the fuck? That story didn't make any fucking sense. She spoke in both past and future tense. When is a past tense thing. When he took me to Mexico, I found out, which is present tense, or at least presence of you telling the story in the past, that he took his girl there the next week. Okay. All right, I'll play it back.
To Mexico the following week. How are you guys?
Yeah, you found out that he took past tense. Maybe just the way she's talking about it, because this entire story is in past tense. But nevertheless, it's holy crap. Hold on. I'll go back to the beginning of the story because it's boring.
Found out that he took his ex-girlfriend to Mexico the following week. How are you guys single? When he would breathe, guys single. Because on the first date, I tried to test him and see if he'd let me pay, and he let me pay. How are you guys?
So the other 364 days, possibly 365 if it's a leap year. So you're single now because you had a bad date. What you define as a bad date? Is that what I'm getting? You had what you define as a bad date because he didn't fall for your shit test, and you're single as a result of that bad day. Oh, okay. Eating pussy is always very optional. What does that mean? Is that a joke, or did you misdo it? Oh, that was a V. Very optional. Well, yeah, I mean, unless they fucking poison you and you wake up with hair in your teeth, then yeah, it is optional. Oh wait, let's see. A ton of guys offer. Yeah, I do know that guys do that. I do know that guys lead with I want to eat your pussy. So when I was in my 20s, there was this, she was a baddie. She was a baddie with some nasty looking feet. With some nasty looking feet. Would I ignore those feet and fuck the shit out? Yes, I would. Quickly, post haste. And she was telling the story of how she was on like a Greyhound going somewhere, and she had her shoes off and she was laying in the seat with her feet on the seat next to her, on the armrest of the seat next to her, and there was a guy behind her and a stranger, and he was staring at him, and she walked up and seen him doing it, and he was like, "Hi, I'm sorry, man, but do you mind if I lick your feet?" And she was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then she'll say, and I'll never forget this. She said that, "I love getting my feet licked, and that's the keys to her kingdom." Her words exact. Now, though I would have liked to visit that kingdom, and she said that because she said that, I'm sure, because that's an offer. Like, hey, you want to get in this kingdom? Here's the keys. I am not. What the fuck? That no. Sometimes you just got to say no to pussy. But I do know that there exists a not insignificant amount of guys who lead with, "Can I eat your pussy?" And I'm pretty sure that is effective. Like I say, I lose opportunity being me in a number of ways, because I know that my head is trash, and I know if I led with that, it would end with me getting kicked out after eating a pussy. So yeah. Anyway, off topic. Let's see. But I never accepted. Oh, okay, makes sense. Yeah. Most men say most men say I've never had it done right, but I know that's got to be BS. A lot of us don't need it. Yeah, like I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a hindrance, but if it was a major hindrance, I would learn how to and do it. But it's not a hindrance enough to make me just say, huh,
Single because on our second date, I found out he was
oh wait, Chantel about to say something. Let's see what you gotta say.
Annoying. On Bumble and dating for a
Oh,
month.
okay. Yeah, it is annoying. Um the probation thing. You didn't really waste much time. Like you're not really answering the question of why you're single. Like when you're getting to know somebody, and it's going to happen more often than not, definitely. Um, when you're getting to know somebody, you learn something that proves that you're incompatible. That doesn't explain why you're single. Like, okay, that was 2 dates. What about the other 363 days of the year? Once again, you're not single because you had 2 bad dates in your entire fucking adulthood. This is just the reason why I'm single is because men are not what I want them to be. That's what you're trying to conclude with this, and you're given many fictitious stories, I'm sure, but and also a dude in that particular situation, I'm pretty sure he presented as such because just like listen, if he didn't think it was appealing to you or attractive to you, he wouldn't have told you on the second date. So he maintains um, that appearance. Like he maintains that out of prison appearance for the women that like that type of guy, or else he wouldn't have told you. He's hoping that you had a bad boy fetish. That's why I did time. And don't get me wrong. If I just so happen to have a record and I had reason to believe that that's what does it for you, then I would use that. Look on her face. I'm talking about Chantel face.
I found out that he was married with kids and
Gosh, yeah, they're so annoying. I used to work at Boys and Girls Club. I used to work at Boys and Girls Club in high school, but I used to volunteer at Big Brothers Big Sister in college. And for some reason, I just got flashbacks of dealing with those preteens. How are you guys single? Oh my God, Miss Chantal. Oh my God. Jeez. I'm sorry. I love kids and all, but dang, those preteen girls are annoying as hell. They are so annoying. But my thing is, the girl with the curly hair, she looks at least 50. So why are they acting so immature? Let me see. Let me see the page. I want to see the.
Now, it's interesting that Chantel would say that because I don't get that when I look at her. But I'm not meant to. Let's start there. I'm not meant to get that. If I had to guess her age, it wouldn't be 50. But when I say I'm not meant to, it's her job to like make herself appear younger, which is why she's engaging in juvenile behavior like this, possibly with a woman who's much younger than her. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting. But no, there exist women out there that Chantel would be like game recognized game. Like, yeah, I see you. I recognize that you are 50. I know all the makeups. I know all the tricks. I know all the. So she would know better than me. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, there are a lot of women who become of a certain age and then try to pretend to be younger. And but what you're really getting is the worst of both worlds. You're getting a older woman with a very juvenile mindset. I mean, if you have to deal with a juvenile behavior, and trust me, like even the woman, in her 20s who behaves like this would definitely be off-putting, but she would make up for it, hopefully, with beauty and fertility.
One with the curly hair. She's not tagged. Is this her? Yeah, I want to see her age. First time home buyer bestie, lending, blah, blah, blah. Because ain't no way she's acting this immature when she looks this age.
Okay, yeah.
She's at least,
Okay. Okay.
Leave it in the comment section.
Yeah.
She's at least 50.
Yeah, she sucked too. She sucked. So the way her weight is fluctuating means that not only has she had lipo, like Crystal Kerrison, she gets it done regularly. Like that's her healthcare routine. Like she does it on a regular basis, because you look at this picture, that the one that she just highlighted, and then you look at this picture, and then you look at this one. So yeah, she's had work done that Chantel is able to see through.
She is pushing 50. If she's not pushing 50, she's going through something in life. I know shade. I mean, we all go through things in life.
Like when Chantel, yeah, she looks at here. She didn't look at any, why am I still single? She didn't look at there, but she definitely looks at here. And now that Chantel is saying it, I'm kind of like piecing together what's going on. So she is definitely an older woman who definitely is doing work. She's spending money to hide her age. Yeah. And she's also attempting to adopt a more youthful personality.
Yeah, she's at least 50. I'm sorry. Is there no... There's no birthday post? I mean, how are you guys? I mean, and can you imagine dating somebody like this? No. One of the pros for dating older women is that they can say they're more mature than the younger ones. But look at the older. Why are you guys single? Can you imagine picking up a 50-year-old with 50-year-old parts, but acting like a 20-year-old? No. No shade. I'm just sharing my observation. Let's see their comment section. The amount of sore ass man I have to block and delete is very innocent, meant to be funny, real is insane. Y'all make me want to be a lesbian. You see, the thing is, they don't take criticism. They don't take pointers on how to improve, because she's saying...
I mean, I wouldn't even think to like criticize this because it's just not funny. Like it's kind of like a senseless thing. Like, I don't even know if they were like attacking men, but they were really like, I mean, well, they're just talking about like, bad dates, and they're just on that there's pee in the mating pool thing type people. But it's like, listen, if you are 50, and I trust Chantel's discernment on that, you're talking about 32 adult years. And you're giving a bunch of stories about like why things didn't work out with 4 guys. I mean, it's like, okay, what about the other 31 years in 9 months? Like, what the fuck? So it just comes off as like weird and very immature. Like for a what did Chantel say? 14? For a 14-year-old to say that, it would make sense, because you've only been dating for so long. So if you had 4 bad dates, that's why you're still single at 14. But it doesn't really fly for someone, at that age. And there are reasons. There are definitely decent reasons for a woman to be single like later in life. One of which was like, hey, it took me a while to mature, or I bought into the feminist mindset, or or I was married and it didn't work out. Like Megan Good, like I was married to a guy for 10 years and he divorced me, and now I'm in my 40s and I'm single and I'm with Jonathan Majors. Like, I mean, there are valid reasons, but not because you went on a date with you went on 2 dates with a guy and it didn't work.
And oh, she got to block these men for giving their feedback. Girl, at this big age, you acting too immature. And the fact that they think it's cute. I have no dog in the fight. I do not know none of these people from Adams. The video came up on my timeline and I'm like, hey, let's react to it.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Here, listen at this.
It's cute. I have no dog in the fight. I do not know none of these people from Adams. The video.
Y'all hear that? She said from Adams. She says from Adams. Press 1 in the chat room if you feel that Jamaicans do everything wrong. Press 2 in the chat room if you feel that they do it right and we do it wrong.
Came up on my timeline and I'm like, hey, let's react to it. I get nothing out of shaming or bashing or nothing. I'm just calling a spade a spade. They're moving like they're 14. Like, am I the only one? Am I making up stories? They are moving like,
are you stupid or something?
Yeah.
No, nothing. It's always the men's fault while they're single.
It is given stupid. It is given stupid. She's right to play that clip. It is. And that's why I wouldn't even take time to engage it. Like, I was just like, oh, these bunch of, stupid broads, and really just kind of keep it pushing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not really turned on and turned off by stupidity, but it's like, this would be like a completely neutral video to me.
Can you imagine you're up in your age and you still going on dates with men that you haven't vetted? You still not having the conversations that's required to see if this man is the kind of man that you even worth your time to go on a date with? This is why we advocate for coffee dates, people. So you do not waste your time. You do not get to date number. I wonder how old she is. She has a. Oh, it's.
Oh my God!
It's her Batman best friend.
Ha!
Hey.
I guess they do say stuff right. Because Batman is like the funniest thing an ethnicity of people could say about somebody. Yeah. That's the coolest sounding thing. The Adams thing was like, what the fuck? But the Batman, that shit's funny.
Telltale sign is when they have the Batman best friend. He's who she probably go to for relationship advice. It's comedy at this point. It's comedy.
So from what I've seen, the issue with women on social media is not the platforms themselves, it is the feedback loop. So psychology is pretty clear on this. What you consume.
You know what I was just thinking when I was looking at him? You don't see Chinamen with beards until they get old. And when I say old, I'm talking about until they get into their hundreds. And they have like that long white beard. But you never see them like in the middle. Oh, wait. Are those Japanese? Like the ones that be wizards and they know Kung Fu and shit? See, King Pick says they spend a lifetime growing their beards, but how come you don't see them with beards until their life? Like until like late in life. You don't see them in 20s with their beard. They don't have beards or chest hair. It's like they start growing their beard at 100. And then by the time they get 110, they have like that full length beard with the long pinky nail. Or am I tripping? Am I tripping? Is it a whole bunch of Orientals with beards that I just don't notice? Because like Jet Li, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, no beards. No beards. Yeah, I think they start growing it at 100. That's the first thing that jumped out to me. That and the Kung Fu shit. When I looked at this guy, like, oh shit, he don't have a beard.
Repeatedly,
or I was saying he have a beard,
shapes your self-concept, your standards, and your behavior. The brain normalizes whatever it's exposed to the most. So when you look at what a lot of men consume online, it's improvement focused. Money, fitness, status, competence. Even when the advice is like flawed, the underlying message is still the same, which is you're responsible, change something. For a lot of women, the dominant content is pure validation. You're perfect as you are. You don't need to change for anyone. If things aren't working, it's because the world is wrong and not you. Okay. So this feels good in the moment, but it creates stagnation. Okay. There's this concept called self-verification, which is people seek information that confirms how they already see themselves, even if that self-image is not helping them. Okay. So content that reassures you that nothing needs to change feels safe, and content that challenges you feels threatening. Okay.
So that's what it is. That's what it is. He's wise. That's why when he gets like old, his beard is going to be long and gray. So the wise ones have beards. The ones who are not wise, they just have like math equations and shit that they can do. So yeah, he's wise. That's why he has a beard. Like Mr. Miyagi.
Okay, and this is why growth-oriented messages get rejected so aggressively, right? So women who talk about discipline, standards, self-improvement, they get labeled as harsh or...
Yep, and he's a sensei. His name is Sensei Nick. So see, I told you he knew Kung Fu.
Judgmental. Not because they're attacking women, but because they disrupt the comfort loop. So they introduce cognitive dissonance, okay? And this is the tension between I'm perfect as I am and maybe my outcomes reflect my habits, right? So most people don't like that tension. So they'll attack the messenger instead of examining. Validation without challenge does not lead to better outcomes, okay? It leads to entitlement without leverage. So you don't get different results by consuming content that tells you you're already done, okay? You get different results by consuming content that asks you to become more, okay? This applies to men, it applies to women, it applies to everyone, right? Because growth requires friction, and if you remove all friction from what you consume, don't be surprised when nothing changes, okay?
Facts. And this is why I always say pay attention to the content she consumes. If she's consuming those Shira 7, Ask Ashley, Kendra G, Pop the Balloon, where it's just like, oh, I'm perfect. It's always men's fault. Let's sit in our echo chamber and complain about men instead of finding ways of how they can self-improve, how they can better themselves, how they can become more qualified for the kind of man they want. Pay attention to the kind of content she consumes. Their narcissism will prevent them from being curious about how they can improve themselves. If she is not curious about how she can improve herself, then she thinks she's perfect as she is.
Red flag, when nothing no red flag, when I don't see it.
You do not want to be in a relationship with somebody who think they're perfect. Trust me.
Ladies, it's 2026.
Chantel wise too. I hope she don't grow a beard.
What the fuck do you mean
Uh-oh.
you went on a coffee date with a man? We are too beautiful, we are too grown, we are too valuable to sit with a man done up over a cup of Joe.
Then do not get done up then, dumb. If your argument is, oh, my makeup costs too much or my perfume costs too much to go on a coffee date, then do not put on makeup. Do not put on perfume. Come as you are. Come as minimum effort as the date. If the date you claim a coffee date is bare minimum, come bare minimum then. Let us see you in your natural state.
Women do not.
She brought up a good point. I didn't even think of it from that angle. Chantel would be big on makeup. And that's because she's a woman and she could tell more so than me. It's made to fool me. Even though with this one I could definitely see that she's heavily made up. But no, she brings up a valid point. And that is, hey, if it's just a coffee date, then jeans, t-shirt, and coffee. But the truth of the matter is that they like to play dress up. In fact, sometimes when they go out on dates with guys that they're not particularly interested in, they look at it as an opportunity to dress up. Women like to, do their nails and wear a fancy dress and wear makeup, and they actually enjoy that process more than they enjoy the food or the venue that they're doing it for. That's just part of their makeup. That's just part of their genetics. That's part of the way that they're designed. And she's upset that you are denying her the opportunity to do that. But yeah, so the whole concept, especially a woman like this who actually, like hiked up her tits, did a bunch of makeup so she could sit in the car and talk, that's what it's about. She looks for opportunities to get done up. That's what it comes down to.
Except coffee dates. They don't. They know their value. They know what they have to bring to the table. And they know that their time is worth more than a $5 cup of Joe. You are way too valuable and you are boosting up way too many egos when you go on coffee dates with men. You are telling the man, I am bare minimum. You can please me with a cup of Joe. Here's the thing, ladies. It's not even to be materialistic. It's not even.
Okay. I'm curious what she means when she says boosting way too many egos. Okay. Women are very careful about how much they boost your ego. They try to keep it at a controllable minimum. Men, we don't care. Or at least I should say men like the game dudes. They don't really care because they're more of some, hey, if I boost 100 egos and I get some pussy, then I did a good thing. Women are much more aware of that. They're much more cautious of that. But she mentioned boosting egos, and then she talked about wait, what did she said something about what did she get or something like that. I'm hungry, so bear with me, guys.
Time is worth more than a $5 cup of Joe. You are way too valuable, and
Then she talked about her value. See, they understand that value is a matter of perception, meaning that toilet water isn't valuable unless the man is thirsty and he's willing to drink anything in order to stay alive. They understand that. So they control value through perception. My barber, there was a time where he had my former barber, where he had a beauty portion. He rented out chairs to women. And I would hear some of their conversations. And one of the conversations that they had was, and this was an actual hoe, an actual street walking prostitute who was having this conversation. And she was saying that I forget the price, but another hoe was undercutting. She was charging a low price, better than a better deal than the other hoes was charging for their pussy. And once they found out, they threatened to jump her. And the reason is because they want to maintain the status quo, and they want to improve and shift the status quo to their favor, the status quo rather. And that is, she's trying to convince other women who go on coffee dates not to do so, because the bar will shift in the favor of coffee dates the more women do it. They're very aware of that.
Boosting up way too many egos when you go on coffee dates with men with a cup of Joe. Here's the thing, ladies, it's not even to be.
It doesn't really boost a man's ego if he thinks you're bare minimum. No, what it does is it adjusts the bar, and that's, you're getting those confused. But we understand that your intention is to increase your perceived value.
Materialistic. It's not even to say that you think you're too good to drink coffee with a man. It has nothing to.
You're saying that's exactly what you just said.
To do with that. It has everything to do with effort. The fact that that man saw.
Yes, you're too good for such little effort is what you're saying.
You and thought immediately, I'd love to have a cup of coffee with her. He doesn't value you. He doesn't respect you. It's about.
Some said GC snack fun. I don't eat snack. I eat food. I need food. I really eat snack. Oh, I eat apples. And actually, I'll be right back. Yeah, I get a banana right now. Thanks for reminding me. And thanks for the 5. I'm get some more bananas and stuff. Appreciate it. But says GC Snack Fun. Appreciate you. Too many women accept men who are abusive. No, they don't. No, they don't. Not even close. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm a man, and you're a woman. There exists a non-insignificant amount of women who enjoy a controlled level of ass whooping. And either you do or you know someone who does. But it's not insignificant. If I had to guess, I would say 60 to 80%. So let's make it a cool 70. And the ones who don't, the remaining 30 typically had a ill-favored experience with the ass whooping. And trust me, this isn't coming from a guy that just go around willy-nilly smacking bitches up saying that, no, I know you like it. And I don't recommend anybody do no shit like that. But there is a certain level of psychological control, dominance, or masochism that exists in a large portion of the female population. And the rest know to call 911. I mean, that's just is what it is. We don't live in a society where, where they live like in a deep rural ranch or something like that. And, He got her chained to a radiator.
You how he views you. Another thing that I feel like you ladies keep missing.
Chantel's eyes. Look at Chantel's eyes. She's possessed by a Jamaican god. Look at that. Look at where I stopped it. Anyway, so what she's suggesting is that a coffee date means that a guy is going on like 5 coffee dates in one day. That is one caffeinated dude. That is one caffeinated dude. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure by the 5th date, he's giving like ADHD vibes and shit. Like, so basically, her goal is to spend so much money, so much of your money, that you don't have any other money to date anybody else. She wants you to spend your last on her. Like, yeah, I emptied his bank account, so I know he's not dating somebody else. Oh shit, this is funny.
Multiple dates with women all the time over cups of coffee. He is not in a financial position to have a wife. So the next time we want to be like, oh my God, Mariah, he don't have any money. He told you right then and there, he's not capable of being a husband. Know your value. Beautiful women don't accept coffee dates.
Listen, these women lack so much substance, they can't even think of content on their own. They just got to wash, rinse, and repeat the same topic. It's 2026. Can we stop talking about how these coffee dates are for losers? Okay, you won't accept coffee dates. Find a different topic to discuss. Content.
No, I mean, it's very important that they drive these points home for their agenda. And their agenda is they don't want men to ever say, if you don't, someone else will. So they got to get all the women on the same page. They just got to.
Create a different content to discuss. No, they have to wash, rinse, and repeat because they lack substance. Going back to what the guy said, she automatically believed that, oh, you're beautiful. You know what you bring to the table, although you can't tell it. You can't list what you bring to the table, but you know what you bring to the table. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect queen, mother nature. So a man's supposed to just see you and know and pay for expensive dates. God forbid he want to take you on a coffee date to see if you guys vibe, to see if you guys have chemistry, because there's nothing worse than sitting across from a table with somebody you stiff, you don't have no chemistry with, like you can't even have conversation with. So God forbid he wants to take you out on a coffee date first to see if it's even worth your energy, your makeup, your good perfume, and his time and money. God forbid. But because they're so limited with their thinking, and she got on TikTok and TikTok said, oh, don't go on a coffee date. And she see that the chicken heads gravitate to that content. She's like, oh, I want to create content, but I lack creativity. Let me go ahead and just repeat a topic that has been talked about 100 million times.
Stop it. Get some help.
Again, though, going back to the guy's point, women were never encouraged to self-improve. They were never encouraged to look within. They were never encouraged to say, wait, am I qualified for the kind of man I want? Will Prince Charming come to me? Because they were raised on this Cinderella fairy tale concept where just sit there and be pretty and Prince Charming is going to come. You don't have to do anything. Many of them are the ugly stepsisters, but they think that they're Cinderella.
You gonna learn today.
You know, that is funny. Because the whole Cinderella thing, at least the women had to be pretty. Now it's the women who are not too pretty saying the same shit. But once again, they have to, it's unionized. It's unionized bargaining.
And no matter age, it's like, it's clear as day, they never mature. Why are we single?
Because one woman can't go out and say, I demand better than a coffee date. She can't do that by herself. Just like one person quitting isn't going to get a company to change its policies. However, if you get enough people on board, then the company will start to reconsider.
And thinking it's cute. And blocking men who wants to say, grow up. Again, we point and laugh. Men,
Get to the chopper!
the juice is never worth the squeeze. Can you imagine dealing with these women and realizing that no matter what age, they're never going to grow up, they're never going to mature? If you are going to be with an immature woman, why not just be with a young, immature woman than to be with she come with her 50-year-old?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. If you're going to be with an immature woman, you know, then because with a young woman, there's a chance that she'll mature. With an older woman, it's like, well, she hasn't matured in all these years, then, you know, it's not going to happen. But, you know, and trust me, maturation is not like top on my list of attraction traits, you know, to a woman. But nevertheless, it is on the list. It is.
Parts and all, but with the immature mindset. Come on now. You can't make this thing up. Y'all go watch the next video that pop up on the screen, highlighting once again how women were never encouraged to look within, take accountability, and self-improve. They were brainwashed to just point fingers. It's always men's fault. You are the only common denominator in your relationship, but it's always men's fault. That don't make no sense. Protect your peace, men. Save yourselves, black men. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, y'all.
I'm gonna read some comments, then I think I am done for the day. All right, let's see. Well, actually, I'm gonna check to see if I have any anything else that I've seen earlier today that I'll share with you. Nope, I did that one. Maybe I'll cover that next time. Let's see. All right, that's the Shay Sade I just did. Yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm good and done. What is this? Yeah. Oh wait. I think there was something. Is this it? I think this is I knew that there was like one more bitch. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I knew it was something else I seen today that I want to share with y'all. This one last thing. That banana didn't do shit. That was my last one. Thanks for the 5.
I'm realizing that every black man, older black man that has been in my life, been a father figure, a mentor figure, a leadership role model type of figure, has died. I ain't trying to be one of them on here, but like, what is that about? Like, I'm literally trying to figure out, why can't black men surpass a certain amount of time here? I mean, black women, us, but we're talking about one right now. The black men that has actually been of substance in my world, I have yet to be able to still have them here with me. And it bothers me to my core.
I completely understand what.
We have an adult black woman complaining that people die as if she just realized it last Tuesday. I'm here on TikTok saying, why don't people live longer? And that too is somehow black man's fault. Why do they have to die? That's a thing. So notice that as they age, they don't become more mature and stuff. Like, and the men in your life, they weren't too wise because you say shit like that, or you didn't heed their wisdom because that's some very unwise thing to say. I think that she is complaining that there isn't men in her dateable age range with the maturity that she got from the previous generation. And there's a really clear reason for that. Well, there's a number of them. One, they're disconnected from their father, so they didn't benefit from his wisdom either. And two, quite frankly, a wise man wouldn't fuck with you because it's not a wise thing to do. Not seriously, not remain in your life for an indefinite period of time. No. Part of being wise is not fucking with you. That, like, when do you see the Chinamen with the long beards, and the karate and the pinky nail? When do you see them with a bitch like you? Let me tell you something. If Luke Skywalker went to Dagobah and he found Yoda, and then he looked in the bed and your ass was there, he wouldn't even like heed his wisdom. He's like, you know something? I'll learn the Force somewhere else. Fuck that. Fuck whatever she's on. You smashing that? I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna find somebody else to teach me. So here, shout out to dude, but I'm gonna skip the comment. Let me give him his name so I get a proper shout out. Bees World. Shout out to him. All right, so I'm so hungry right now. I'm gonna do something nasty. I got some leftover taco meat and I don't have a shell. I'm gonna just warm it up and eat the shit. And that'll give me the energy I need to make a proper dinner.
And wanting mixed babies, Black men's bodies have been historically dehumanized, but at the same time fetishized. I'm a 17-year-old inspiring you to talk more about these issues, so welcome back to Overlooked Stories, where we're going to challenge the stereotypes that we accept so easily. So let's unpack the origins of Black male hypersexualization, while also analyzing Kendrick Lamar's lyrics to see how Black artists are continuously reclaiming what it means to be Black in a context where culture continues to objectify them. Let's start off with colonial history. So the enslaved, whether sold privately or in the auction block, were often stripped naked to ensure that they were healthy. During this process, Black men and women were physically examined to ensure they were able to reproduce. However, this practice was extremely dehumanizing because it often led to them being sexually and physically exploited. Quite literally, from the start of the colonial era and colonization, Black men's bodies did not belong to them. They were property and they were a sort of commodity. Then came pseudoscientific eugenics. Eugenicists like Francis Galton spent his entire life trying to prove that Black men's bodies and white men's bodies were anatomically and significantly different. Pseudoscience really framed white men's...
It is. Look at my dick. Yeah. Ha. And I'm not telling you to because you're 17. But yeah, I'm talking about in general. Nevertheless, I'm going to stop right here and give her a pass because she's extraordinarily immature. But the thing is that she sounds like all the other older dizzy broads. And in some cases, more mature than the older ones. Like, the maturity does not improve over time. And that's because they're not gathering wisdom along the way. And that's because they're not listening to those who are wiser than them. They just Google shit, think they know everything, and then just continue to move on to the next topic, you know, never improving or anything. It's a sad reality. Nevertheless, I want to thank the Cash App, Super Chats, managers, moderators, those who are listening silently, and those who participate in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And this is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.